Rake fighting action, sanctioned by the ARFA, the Amish Rake Fighting Association, featuring the finest Amish rake fighters from around the US of A, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Minnesota, Ohio, upstate New York, Iowa, and Illinois. And now to the field for rake fighting action.
Hello, everybody. Hal Curtis here. Isaiah Gottenhausen, the man you see before you, has for many years been the epitome of honor and humility, a shining example of the virtues of the Amish rake fighter. But all that came to an end just a few months ago when he was falsely accused of owning a horseless carriage. The scandal ruined his reputation and brought a promising career to a grinding halt. Isaiah's accuser is none other than the wildly hated bad boy of Amish rake fighting, Jacob Barnbreaker King. Many are appalled at the man who once shaved with an electric razor would level such charges against a fellow rake fighter. But now, at long last, the talk and speculation can come to an end as these two God-fearing gladiators take to the field for 12 rounds of no strings barred rake fighting action. Will be underway right after this.
Amish rake fighting is brought to you by Kerplow Seeds. Kerplow, just plant it. Available wherever fine seeds are sold. By Mennonite Springs, the water of righteousness, pure enough for baptizing, even better for drinking. And by Apostle Shoes. Walk a mile in his shoes. Walk a mile in Apostle shoes.
Jacob, I will smite thee. Come on, right here.
And how the hell are you motherfuckers? It's me and J Money.
What the fuck?
And of course, we got
Joe Biden.
Add your Joe Biden.
Bro,
No, we
I've
can't
been
have
getting-
Joe Biden on this motherfucker.
I've been getting so many Joe Biden advertisements the last 2 weeks. It's been out of this world.
Well, you know, Joe Biden is an expert on roaches
Yeah, right.
and little kids touching his hair.
His leg hair.
It's yeah, he's fucking insane, dude. If he's going to be the president of the United States, then we are going to be the retarded child of the planet Earth. United States is going to be the short bus.
Yeah.
All the other countries out there.
Oh shit.
And we got Hex Harper, Candace B, Gus Tyler. I appreciate you guys
Nice,
showing
dude.
up. The Hex is a veteran. He's a veteran. He loves being here.
Did you send out a link on Twitter yet?
Oh, wait, maybe I have it. That's the reason.
Yeah, let's because I know you sent me the link, but all right, so you didn't set up a link yourself yet?
I sent a link yesterday.
Oh yeah, 15 hours ago.
Yeah, it was 15 hours. It wasn't that recent. It was
All right, so I'll put one out too.
Sweet. Yeah, the news has been crazy lately, dude. Like, I can't. I don't want to get too deep into politics, but it's fucking nuts, dude. Like, you know what I caught? I caught the did you see that debate where it was Ethan and it was
God,
it was
yes.
and yeah, and they were debating this guy, right? And this guy was like, he was like, well, social justice isn't the reason why comics are failing, you know? And Ethan's like, they're absolutely why comics are failing. And it was like, no, it's because people ain't buying comics anymore. And he was like, yes, that's why they're not buying comics anymore.
Yeah, it was hard. That goddamn stream was hard as hell to listen to. It was.
You can
oh my
see
God.
how these people, how you like, I don't have the patience for that, dude. Like, you make your point over and over again, but it's like like their brain is kind of a scratched record, you know, and it keeps
Well,
back to
what I say is like they think repeating the lie over and over again will eventually become true. It's like that doesn't work anymore. Like
yeah.
it's just because you keep saying it, that doesn't mean it's true.
But what trips me
And
out is they're doing it while DC is burning to the ground,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
couldn't imagine the amount of money because back in the day, Marvel, when it was bought by DC, they bought it for $50 million.
Yeah, that's a
50.
steal. Yeah.
Gosh. So like what happened with DC? Like I can't imagine what is they squandered Star Wars, they squandered DC, they're on the borderline of squandering Marvel. It's
Yeah.
what are they doing?
Well,
What are they doing?
I think it was Thinking Critical.
Yeah.
That dude, I think that dude put it the best way, right? Because he said, like, this is their MO. Like, at least Disney's MO. Like, Disney could care less about if you buy comics or not, right? In fact, they don't care about the characters either. Like, probably Marvel's biggest mistake was selling out to Disney. You know,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
from a business standpoint, it was a good thing. But from a creator's standpoint, if they gave a shit about any of these characters, it was the worst thing they could have possibly did. Because Disney has their MO is like they took all these grim fairy tales, right? I mean, you had like Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood,
Yes.
all this kind of crap, and they juiced them for every bit they could get out of them. And then even after they were finished, they were washed up, and you know they ruined the franchise. All of this stuff, they kept using it over and over again to get every little bit out of it. Now, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Any, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's they're not a good company when it comes to creator-owned properties, and I don't think Kirby. Or well, fuck, I don't know about Stan Lee. I mean, I think a young Stan Lee wouldn't have stood for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he, even though there was a lot of controversy, and I am a Kirbyist, yes, you know, like I totally believe Kirby created most of the Marvel universe. You know, that's my standpoint. But I know a lot of people are like, no, it was Lee too. You know, But I mean, the Marvel way is basically the artist basically draws out the book, and then Lee comes back and says, what is this a story of?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, it's just like what the writers are doing right now. They're trying. So it's the artists are the storytellers, and they're the ones who get the most emotional response out of people. And the writers,
but that.
Well, it's just like the writers. So it's just like you were explaining about what Stan Lee was doing with Jack Kirby. They're doing the same motherfucking thing right now. They are trying. The writers and the editors are trying to take all of the credit of the artists.
Oh, you mean
yourself.
with you talking about the big two, like the
Marvel
and
like
DC.
so all of a sudden, because a lot of the artists are introverts.
Yeah.
Well, someone like yourself and someone like Ethan and someone like John Malin, they're extroverts, so you know, like you actually don't mind talking. You don't fucking mind talking, and that's what these writers and these editors have the most problem with is, you know, artists who speak out. Like they have a problem with people who express their opinion who are artists.
I think like probably like Ethan, John Malin, and me, I guess. I mean, we're all cut from the same cloth. Like I learned early on that if if I bitch like a little kid, you know, like if I throw a tantrum, like they're gonna give me my way. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's one of the reasons why I was a really high paid like production line artist back in the day. You know, but it's because I knew my worth. You know, and I capitalized on it. I was like, no, dude, like, no, you got to give it up. You know, I want this much or I'm walking, you know, and
Yeah.
I've done like fucking crazy shit like that. Like actually had a company held hostage over you know, me producing work, you know, like, and I won every time I won, you know, because I knew it. I knew how much I was worth. And I think you're right. But I also think there's a lot of creators out there that aren't capitalizing on established characters, and they're trying to throw their own characters in there because they're like,
Yeah.
well, if I work with Batman and Superman, I'll make a great comic with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
What's that going to do for me in the long run? You know, it's absolutely nothing. Like I have to create the next Deadpool to be able to collect, you know, to be able to set up my retirement, you know.
Somehow, well, they're doing that with Miss Marvel right now.
Yeah.
So like that one with the big fist to get bigger. Like
God,
so,
I
not
hate
only
that
is
character so much, dude.
it's so awful.
I hate
I
that
watched the gameplay of the new Marvel game. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And then supposedly Kevin Feige is letting that woman do a movie with this character that no one wants. So you got a video game where you got to play a little woman who gets big feet and big hands.
Are we talking about Tallahassee Coates? Is that who it is? Or is it no, it's the other chick. It's what's her name?
I don't know. You talking about the creator?
Yeah, she's some Spanish chick or something like that.
She's Pakistani.
Yeah, I
She's
can see her.
what is her name?
She's
I don't
kind of
know,
overweight. Like
it's
she
an
almost
awful
looks like a little dumpy dude or something like that.
Yeah, she's like a little stumpy lady. But the character is terrible and the video game looks stupid. You know, and you got over 5,000 intellectual properties for Marvel, and the new game that's coming out is about a character that they just created 3 or 4 years ago. And you know what I mean? Like
Well, she's in a
Sana Amanat. Yes, Gus Tyler Bush.
yeah.
Sana Amanat. Yeah, that lady.
She's in a
Like,
she's
how
in
the
a
hell?
really she's in a really powerful spot as far as Marvel
How?
goes. Like she's able to go ahead and crowbar her character into all of this, and it's kind of
Yep.
like insider trading, to be honest. You know, from a creator standpoint. What's up, Brian?
Not
Brian
much,
would
man.
have Brian would have good opinions on this.
What's up, you sexy motherfuckers? Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about G. Willow Wilson? Yeah, well, here's the thing. When the SJWs decided to take over comics, it wasn't about the comics. It was never about the comics. It was always about the movies, right? But they couldn't just come in and take over the movies. So what they did was they took over the comics within the belief that eventually that would work its way into the movies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because they're
Yeah.
not going to adapt the old comics. They're not going to go back and adapt, like the classic Jack Kirby, Stan Lee Fantastic Fours or something like that. They're going to do the new Fantastic Four, the new Avengers, or the new She-Hulk, or any of these like crap new SJWs characters that they created, like the new Ms. Marvel, whose power is that she can make her hands really big.
Yeah, it's fucking. We
Speaking
were just
about
saying
big
that. It's so
hands,
stupid.
We
It's
got
so
Scott
fucking
Heister.
stupid.
What
What's up? What's
Hey,
up?
How's it
up,
going?
Scotty?
Yeah,
What's up, Scott?
yeah, not
Scott-
much. How's it going?
Scott's a that's my dog.
Gorgeous pooch, by the way.
He doesn't
Gorgeous.
like the name Scott. It gets into his head.
This
a lot.
Oh,
Scott,
no.
goddammit.
Sounds
happens.
distressed.
The Scott's one of my is one of the guys that is the reason why I work so hard, to be quite honest. It's because like Scott's he's I would actually almost say he's a super fan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And you just lost him. And you got him back
I got
again.
him
Yeah.
back.
What's up, Scott?
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
important for me to get Scott on here, you know, just to hang out, or you can
Yeah.
talk up, you can talk shit, doesn't really care. Yeah.
That's
That
comics.
sounds
There's always
amazing.
shit to talk about. So
There really is, man. There really is. It's like every fucking day it's something new.
I mean, AT&T's killing DC. Yeah.
Well,
Well-
DC killed itself.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Cause of death, suicide.
sure.
Well,
I
that's,
mean,
yeah, that's be honest, mate.
Marvel and Disney or Marvel, Disney, DC, Warner Brothers. They're all just trying to kill themselves at this point. And
Well,
I don't know about everyone else.
AT&T's a company that is
They
there to
don't-
make a profit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, and if the comics aren't making money, they're gonna shut it down, and that's
Yeah.
it. They'll
let me put it this way: all your characters, Scott, you'd
Yeah.
be crucified right now.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
You're like, oh no, boobs? What are you kidding me? Get that.
Gotta have the
What do you
uniboob.
think
That's
this
the
is?
new thing, the uniboob. Oh man, I was looking at one of Frank Cho's comics. I think it was Shanna the She-Devil,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh,
it was
fucking
amazing.
great.
It was fucking great. It's fucking amazing, right? And I was like, I was reading this, and I just like flipped, to the front. I was like, what year was this? 2005.
Mhm.
2005,
Early
2008.
Early 2000s, yeah.
Yep.
That's when mainstream American comics hit their artistic peak.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
really did.
Yeah, but
Unfor-
Image and Top Cow back then, it's Witchblade was gorgeous,
Yeah.
unlike now where it looks like garbage. It's
Yeah.
just dark, ugly garbage.
And crap
bit
Tumblr
the
art.
knee a little bit. They just, it's like they did it in the background, so nobody
Yeah.
would see them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think an artistic peak was hit. It's like I was saying to Preston just a few moments ago. All of a sudden, people who weren't creators anymore, who were the writers, the editors, and the other branches of the book, somehow got their way in and took it away from the artists, because there was a dead zone for, I don't know, 10 years or more where you didn't hear much about artists, or there wasn't enough loud artists out there.
Honestly, I think what happened was Image taught the industry a lesson about giving the artists too much power and too much
Yeah.
publicity.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why they
that's
don't
what I've
keep
always
an
heard.
artist on a book too long, or let them write and draw the book, because if they do that, they're setting themselves up for another Image revolution. You know?
Right.
Yeah, they
And,
don't want rock
like-
stars, because then they'll have to pay them rock
Yeah.
star prices.
And they dare not have it happen again.
Exactly. Like Todd McFarlane said that he was making more than the president of the United States while he was working on Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. He said per issue he was making fucking tons of money. And they were, but the deal is the company was making tons of money too. So,
Exactly.
And
that's what people were actually reading the comics that they were buying. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
the late 90s
Yeah.
where, like 2 million copies sold of, I think, X-Men #1, but there weren't 2 million readers.
yeah,
It was just
exactly.
the speculators were just fucking,
Yeah.
gobbling shit up. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, this is before they actually hit, before Todd McFarlane. Well, they hit with the comic collectors. They just never hit with the normies, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because it was normies that were like, give me 20 copies of
Yeah.
Spawn #1.
Yeah, and and those are the people that practically killed the industry in the early mid 90s.
Yeah.
When Marvel just
Yeah.
basically went bankrupt, because Marvel and DC started overproducing shit. It's like, here's a shitload extra copy,
Here's
Yeah.
a foil cover.
all the foil covers, the variant covers. It's like, that's what killed the fucking industry in the 90s, and it never really came back.
Well, what they did was they chased away all the old fans. People like me were like, you know what? I'm done. Bye. See ya.
Well,
Out
that's
the
what they're
door.
doing now.
Yeah,
They're doing that
exactly.
now, except they never had that push that came with the movies, because
Oh,
let's be honest, they could have easily given away a comic with a list of comic shops on the back of it in that area where the movie was being shown, and it would have cost them nothing, dude. Literally nothing to do something like that.
to hand out a free comic with your ticket, so when
Yeah.
you're like stepping into the
Absolutely,
theater,
yeah.
the usher hands you a free comic book if you want it.
And
Because
I
a
hate
lot
to
of
repeat Cecil, but on top of that, because you make a great point. I mean, it's you're absolutely right. But on top of that, let the characters be the characters in the books that are the characters in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Don't put out
Yes.
a Thor where Thor's not a guy. You know what I'm
That
saying?
was, yeah.
While the
Yeah.
movie's going on.
Yeah.
Wait until that
Yeah,
rush
yeah,
is
yeah.
over with. Because people are going to go in there and they're going to want to collect. They're like, I want latest Why is Thor chick.
Well, yeah, that's the point that I always make, is that you probably weren't going to get too many new fans, but you were going to get a big influx of old fans coming back, right? You go to see the Iron Man movie. Damn, it's been like, 15, 20 years since I read an Iron Man comic. Let's see what Tony Stark's up to.
He's
Wait,
dead.
who is this like
And he-
15-year-old black chick?
Well, so
Well, how
I,
about the Hulk? Wait, Amadeus Cho? Who the fuck is Amadeus Cho?
Well,
You know
that's
what
one
I
of the,
think-
and that's
I
one of
think
the
what-
things that Sony does, right? Is like, so I keep Peter Parker as Spider-Man because that's who everybody knows.
Not for too much longer.
Well,
True.
what
Yeah.
I think they fail to realize is the people who are the new customers eventually look back at what the old style was. So it's like, you may be attracting new customers, but you underestimate the amount of the new customers that will look back at, not only what are you doing to the old fans, but they will look at the old artwork and the old stories. So it's like you may get them, but you're immediately stabbing yourself in the back when you're letting the people who were fans for 20 or 30 or 40 years of a certain intellectual property. And then so you're also stabbing the new fans in the back by acting like a complete fucking asshole to the old fans, because eventually the new fans are going to actually see, the tactic that you're pulling. And John Favreau actually did an interview where what I don't know what it was. An article came out about him, about certain
Yeah,
things
just
he said.
recently.
So
Yeah.
someone had a intimate conversation with him, and it somehow got put out onto the news. And he's like, "Hey, bro, stop fucking playing around. Like, you need to not only invest your time in the old customers, but you need to invest your time in the new customers. But do not ignore the old customers. Don't stop fucking doing that." And I don't know what the basis of that interview was, but that came out today or yesterday.
Yeah, and it caused a little bit of a stir, and naturally he's
So-
being asked to bend the knee and apologize and blah blah
But
blah.
what was that interview? Was it at a dinner? Like, where did that come from? Who
I
asked
don't-
those questions?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was something that was leaked. I don't know if it's something that that was a public statement, like in a open interview or something like that. But the thing is, it's not even just that they're just not respecting the old fans. They're giving them the finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look like Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah. Oh, my hands just got really big. Oh, cool. I can join the Avengers now. This would be great for bitch slapping people.
You should have wrote an S on
Ow.
your write an S on your chest.
And the thing is I remember reading the first issue of the Ms. Marvel comic and thinking it was all right because it was at least a real comic, right? As opposed to like, not that I thought it was great, right?
Yeah.
It was a friend of mine who bought it. I read it and I was like, well, at least it's a real comic. It has a personality. The art has a personality. It's not really my thing, but it wasn't like this hot garbage that you see, like this shitty Tumblr art that's everywhere.
I met
now.
somebody recently. I'm not going to mention her name because I don't know where she kind of stands on the fence. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And
Yeah,
if-
yeah, of course.
if they don't want to be in like CG or whatever. I don't care. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But she
me
created a
neither.
character that was pretty much a female Lobo, except the chick actually looked like a female Lobo, right? And it's created
Yeah.
by a chick. She's got huge boobs, you know what I'm saying? She's got a skull on her fucking shoulder, and it's the greatest character I've ever seen, right? I'm like, this is fucking awesome, you know? And instead of
Yeah.
having, it's created by a chick, right? So I'm like, so of course, she's not going to have a bunch of naked chicks around her. She's going to have a dude in a Speedo that follows her.
That's fine. That's
You
fine.
know, and I thought it
Let
was
the
the
lace have the
greatest-
beefcake.
And I was like, dude, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, this is awesome. So I did a trade out with her. I was like, send me some of your books and I'll send you this. She was like, all right. And I never said I was CG or anything like that. Because I don't
Right.
think that's important, right?
Not
but she
at
told me
all.
like she got kicked off of Webtoons because, and she said she's not really either way. She just kind of, she does her own thing. She said, yeah, there's some SJW
That's
shit I
not
believe in,
acceptable.
but not everything, and yeah, exactly. But she
You have
said
to take a stand.
she got kicked off of Webtoons because her character's boobs were too big. Not that she was showing areola or whatever. Or she said because the boobs were way too big, and I was like, I did a sketch of her character, and I'm gonna show it off because
Please do, because now you got our curiosity piqued.
Oh yeah.
Now, her character was like I'm not going to tell you the name of the character or anything like that, but it's like one of the greatest things ever, dude. Like I love this character so much, and I never did a sketch of the dude. Like I have a problem doing half naked dudes.
But it's cool because let the guys have their cheesecake, let the ladies have their beefcake.
But this is exactly
And
what I
some
was
of the
talking
dudes.
about. You know what I'm saying? This is everything we've been saying. Like,
Yeah.
don't turn Lobo into a chick. Make a whole new character and watch it take off. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
And
yes.
that's what she did. And I thought this was the greatest thing ever, dude. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Now I gotta
Is she still doing it? Is she going to do it?
The character? Yeah, she still puts it out, and she has her own website that she keeps the
Cool.
character,
Okay.
on, but she's not allowed to have it on Webtoons. Because
She should crowdfund, man. We would help her.
that's
Because
what I was
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Because
I
the
was
titties
like,
are too big.
yeah.
She doesn't have.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to like declare herself as CG.
now
Well,
this is my sketch. This isn't hers, but this is what her character looks like. And the
oh,
boobs
badass.
are pretty close to the size that she has.
Oh man, with
I
the
thought-
Danzig like skull
Dude,
piece.
dude, look, I'm sold. I was like, this is the greatest
Oh, that's
thing
so
ever,
you,
dude.
man.
And
That's
I
That's
was
so
like,
you.
yeah, and she's got like a weird mohawk where she's got some hair in the front and this fucking wild ass ponytail in the back. And I'm like, dude, this is like Scott Heister type of
Yeah.
art, right?
That's
You know
awesome.
what I'm saying? Like, this is
It's
the greatest
badass.
thing ever,
Dude,
It's really great. That see
I'd-
what does if you look at that, what are you thinking? You're thinking, oh shit, this is gonna be fun.
yeah, dude. That's what I was saying. I was like, this is, yeah.
Bro, that's sexy as hell.
And
That's sexy as hell, man. Gosh.
yeah, so I gave her veiny arms.
Yeah, it's
'cause I want to
awesome.
do kind of a Bisley type of look to her because it deserved the Bisley treatment. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I was getting a biz vibe from this too. Yeah, it's fucking awesome, man.
Exactly,
Yeah,
dude.
I would. She should crowdfund, man. We would help her with her campaign.
like I don't know her that well. I'm waiting for the books to come in, and then I was
That's
figuring
fine.
after I read the book,
So-
I'll go ahead and approach her about something like that. But I was like,
So,
"Cool, this is
Preston, are you saying she doesn't know anything about Comicsgate?
I never said that.
Okay.
I said
Okay.
I never came out and just said, "Hey."
So,
I'm
well,
Comics
what is
Gate.
what?
You know? I was just
so,
like,
of course, this is amazing. What is? Does she have anything that's public right now?
you mean like on like out there?
Or
She
from
does.
her end, from her end. Because I've never seen this. This is like a great.
No, she does.
great-
She has books. She has like 7 books or something like that out of this character, dude. And she got kicked off of Webtoons because of the boobs. And she said, "No, I'm not shrinking the boobs down. What are you, stupid?" So she just went ahead and put it on her own website. Like,
Man,
I'll
Good
send
for
you the
her.
link off.
Good
off-
for her.
Yeah,
So, what is the website? What is the website?
yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Well,
Yeah,
one-
we don't
Get off
have
the
her.
air.
Yeah,
well,
we
the
don't
one,
wanna have
the
her.
one that she got kicked off. The one that she got kicked off.
Oh,
What is it?
Webtoons.
Webtoons.
Yeah. So
I've never
Webtoons
heard
was
of
like,
that.
no, those boobs are way too. big.
It's
You
all
can't."
Webtoons is all just a shitload of random web comics that basically anybody can post whatever they want. But
Yeah.
apparently they have some weird
Right.
standard.
Right. Okay. Because I've never heard of Webtoons before tonight. Like,
Well,
I've never heard of
Webtoons was
this.
making a big push. Like I remember at Comic Cons and stuff like that, like they would have these big old setups, right? And they would be giving out comics and all these passwords and shit that where you can go in there and read stuff. And they were
Right.
actually asking creators to come to their booth and do a pitch because they wanted to go ahead and get more material for their website. But now this was in 2017, I think, or 2016. So it was a few years ago, but I never thought, well, I guess you had to expect
Right.
to follow
Right.
suit as far
Right.
as like the big movement that's going on.
Yeah.
That's actually killing anything with pictures on it.
Yeah, they get all the really good artists who are like extremely expiring, and then when you sign up, you got this really good intellectual property, but all of a sudden they own all of your images. Like,
Yeah, I know, right? That's one thing you have to see. That's one. Me and Brian know this, like fucking from personal experience. But you have to read the small print.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
I'm saying
You do,
because,
man. Legalese is another language. It really
like
is.
Facebook, if you don't read the small print with Facebook when you sign
Yeah.
up, I mean, Facebook
Yeah.
basically says that if you post anything on Facebook, they can use it for promo material, and they don't have to give you a cent. You know?
yeah, that's
And,
crazy, bro. That's
Yeah, like
crazy.
Yeah.
anything. Like if I posted Doc Salem shit on Facebook, they pretty much they can take that image and do whatever they want with it, and I have no say so, and I get no profits from it. You know?
Yeah, well, Facebook is useless when it comes to self-promotion anyway. That's, once they monetized self-promotion, where like, I remember before, like back in the day, I had like nearly 3,000 subscribers, people, that I picked up gradually from working the conventions, right? And like, hey, you want to be on the mailing list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, a post would reach like hundreds of people. Now, and it's been this way for years, of course. I just remember one day it was just like, oh, like 5 people have seen your post. You want more people to see it? Pony up
Exactly.
$5,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Gimme.
Well,
Well,
I
do
didn't
you-
realize it, but yeah, you like if you post something on Facebook, and you're like, I got to get this out right away. Nobody's going to see it for a week.
Do any of
Useless.
Preston and Brian, do you have your analytics turned on for Twitter?
For the twatter? You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
How do you even
because,
do
like,
that?
Yeah, so you should turn your analytics on, because like I have 300 and something followers, so I'm on my 5th or 6th Twitter account. I'll be quite honest with you, I've been canceled a few times.
Really?
But so my mom had over 10,000 followers, and she would get like almost 2 to 3 to 4
Damn,
million.
10,000 followers? Jesus
She would get
Christ,
like
dude.
she would get 2 to 4 million people a month that would go through her account, but they blatantly, because she's very political. But anyway, my account,
Yeah.
my J Money account on Twitter, I get between 600 to 1 million impressions a month.
Jesus
And I,
Christ.
and I'm pretty vocal, but I know both of y'all have more followers than me, so it would be interesting to know what the both of you two, when you turn your analytics on Twitter, what
I'ma
your
do that.
impression.
I didn't
Yeah.
know they had analytics on Twitter.
Yeah.
I know.
How do you even
No.
do that?
Does
You
Twitter
gotta
have paid promotion?
you
I'm
gotta
sorry.
do it from your browser. You gotta do it from the browser,
Okay.
and you click on more,
Oh,
and
okay.
then you click on analytics. You gotta yeah.
turn
and-
analytics on. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And
All right, thanks,
you know,
brother.
Brian, I know Brian, you specifically with your 2 books that you've done, I know you would be interested. And they don't advertise it, which is quite. I just sounded like a female just now, but they don't
Sorry.
advertise it. That you, especially because you guys are both artists. That you, I don't know, Scott. I don't know you. Sorry, bro. But
That's all right.
But the both of you two guys, you can turn on your analytics and see how many impressions you get per tweet, per
Yeah.
month. You can do it in a 28 or 31 day period, and I know, but they don't never ever advertise that. So I know the both of you might like to know that. I suppose. You know,
Seriously,
Be
dude.
quite
Thank you.
simple.
Look, we're all like learning this stuff as we're going along, so I appreciate the nugget of information.
Yeah,
sir.
and it's just little small things because, so I've had a couple accounts that had quite a bit of followers, and they just got randomly crushed by Twitter. So I have essentially learned. So my the Twitter account that I have now, I created with my original Gmail account back in 2008 or 2009, and I created the Twitter account back in 2011, and it is the last remaining Twitter account that I have. that hasn't been fucking completely canceled by Twitter.
How do you get
Jesus.
canceled by Twitter? Like,
Just
I'm
saying things, bro. Just saying
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Like I know.
It's the same thing that happened to Dan Fraga. Like Dan Fraga
Right.
had never, through what he has said, of course, because we don't know specifically, but he has never done anything that has flagged his channel before. And then in one night, because of I don't know what, he was just talking about Doug TenNapel, but he got his entire channel suspended. Like that is
Yeah,
the
it could be
strangest
really
thing.
random. It could
Well,
be
the
really
rumor
random.
right now is on YouTube. Like if you say anything about CV,
'Cause-
like as far as getting together or anything like that, like they'll shadow ban your channel or cancel it completely.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
they recently, a woman recently got arrested for planning a protest. You know,
It's really
That's not
strange.
too Orwellian. That's not too. Yeah. that's not-
exactly.
that's
Like they
not
came
too-
to her house and arrested her for planning a
Yeah.
protest. You know what I'm
Well, what's
saying?
funny-
Like,
Yeah, well, they
So-
could do that shit now.
but it
Yeah.
wasn't
What's fun-
it wasn't a protest like BLM or anything like that. It was a protesting.
So three
BLM.
or 4
You know?
years ago, I signed up to Dan Fraga's stream, and he had randomly throughout the years just posted, a video, and then all of a sudden one day Ethan Van Sciver brings up his name and his channel gets big, and he's up to almost 5,000 subscribers. Like, what do you think? What do you have? Like 4,500 or 4,800? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And he's doing a live stream, and his live stream completely gets erased in one night. And there's
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
and his account was almost 10 years old, and he lost
Jesus
almost
Christ,
10
dude.
years worth of videos.
Yeah.
Well, I
Did
mean,
he-
some of it's snitches too, though, right? Like,
Well,
I think
I
they're-
don't understand.
like Fraga's got somebody that's like fucking with him.
I don't understand how you can have a channel. You create that channel, you have almost 10 to 15 years worth of videos, and then all of a sudden they can delete your channel and you don't have access to your old videos. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
It's good
me.
to back up. Like they had a on Elvira pick.
What? What?
Oh, my wall.
Cassandra Peterson?
I don't think so.
Oh man,
what
did you
pic?
see the pics of her like when like the nudes that she did? Well, they're not nude. She's wearing like a little lingerie, like a garter belt or something like that. But this is back when she was like, I mean, she was always a redhead, always gorgeous, but she was like in her early 20s. This is like when she was like a go-go dancer.
Who?
Oh,
I do not have an Elvira pick on my wall. I don't know which one you're talking. I got
Oh.
if it's this one over here, that's the one man gang. On his arms folded. And over here it's Bernie Wrightston.
manly.
But I do have a Elvira painting with all the harem of horrors. If you've seen that in Hot Sea Public Store, but I do have the actual paint of that.
And she's
um,
still smoking hot, by the way. Like the
She
last time I
is,
saw
but
her.
she said
Damn.
she's not wearing the suit anymore, the Elvira suit. She said
That's fine. That's fine.
She said she's, in her opinion, she's too old to wear it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, come on, honey. We would disagree. The fans would disagree. But that's the thing is so that like the reason why she's so beloved is because she's always been super like awesome to fans. She's always
And
just
what
been
do-
like a
what do-
regular person.
What do you call it? After Cougars? What is it? After Cougars? That Brian?
G-Dilfs, G-Milfs.
I don't. I mean, I know she is.
Bro.
She is a G-MILF, but
Yeah, she is.
she doesn't look like it. You know what
No,
I'm
she
saying?
don't.
I think
Oh, man.
Holy shit!
Yeah, man.
That's
she's
funny. as
she must
hell.
be doing like Christopher Reeve did on South Park and just sucking down stem cells.
Either that or like bathing in the blood of virgins, like
Oh
like a
my God.
battery.
I know, right?
She's a Kabbalist.
Something,
Oh my
or
God.
or maybe she's got a painting in her attic,
Oh yeah,
like picture of Dorian Gray. Maybe you never know.
She's like Dorian Grayer.
See, yeah, exactly. Oh my god,
That's awesome.
What,
man.
what were we
shit.
talking
No,
about
she
before she
does
came
look-
up, man? Damn.
I
She
don't
does
even
look
know that
fucking
was
insanely
hilarious.
good for
Yeah,
her
she
age
does.
anyway, dude. I mean, she's crazy. You know?
Yeah. She's
Oh, I think she's older than my mom. I think so, right?
Well, I think she's close to 70.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't she like
Yeah.
68, 69?
She's in her 60s, definitely.
That's
Damn,
crazy.
that is crazy.
I've seen her like I mean it's only been a couple of years since she stopped wearing the costume, you know,
Yeah.
and you almost can't tell the difference. Yeah,
She still does occasionally.
Yeah,
She was out here. She was out here in Phoenix. I want to say last year for a con, for a horror convention, and most of the weekend that she was here, it was just her signing and taking pictures with people. But there was like one day of photo op that she was in costume, but that was it. It was like limited, very limited, not for very long.
Yeah.
Well, what she needs to realize, and I understand it, Betty Page was like that too. Like she didn't want anybody to see her when she was old. And she wanted people to remember, you know, the Betty Page that we all remember.
Elvira,
but she's an American institution.
Well,
you know,
I don't think if she wants to
national treasure.
She's got to be in the Actors Guild, right? I mean, she's had
Cassandra
movies
Peterson?
out.
Yeah, I mean, she had an entire vehicle. There was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which was actually okay. I haven't seen.
I wonder if she gets royalties or anything like that.
Oh,
anybody
dude.
using the image of Elvira, because Elvira is actually it wasn't hers. Like it was created by a producer that didn't want to pay Vampire. You know.
Yeah.
So they were going to reproduce the Vampire show, but Vampire, they had a disagreement. So Elvira was a blatant ripoff of Vampire, and she sued them, but she lost because she never had the money to keep going.
But here's the thing too. I'm sorry.
But she never came up with the Elvira persona. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's hers. Like I don't think she gets any money if she's on a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Every Halloween, I go to the supermarket in the beer aisle. There's a big cutout of Elvira.
Yeah.
Every fucking Halloween, right? So she's got to be making money. Like, I mean, I haven't seen that in a while. I guess maybe since she retired the persona. But I mean, she was doing that like forever. And you know, Mila Normie sued her. But here's the thing. It was a dirty lawsuit because Elvira is a completely different character. I mean, there's only one, I think, kinescope that survived of the Elvira show, right? All the other ones were destroyed.
Elvira? Or
No, Elvira. I mean, Vampira. Yeah, the Vampira show. Yeah. Every episode gone, disappeared except for one. And one of the episodes.
Did you see the documentary on Vampire?
Yeah,
that was
interesting.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was one.
She looked horrifying because she was missing all of her bottom teeth right here, and it was crazy. But you really got to see it. I can't even describe how bad I felt for this chick. Like throughout, because she had stalkers that would lock her up and shit like that, and take, it was nuts, dude. But
there was awesome shit too, though. She had a close personal friendship with James Dean.
Well, no, what she was doing back then was unheard of. Like for women to do it. I mean, she was like the first feminist, I guess you would say, right? I mean,
she was a trailblazer for sure, definitely. and a pioneer. But she described the relationship that she had with James Dean. James Dean was bi, right?
Oh, what?
And
I never knew that.
Yeah. And so it was like him and I think a male friend of his and her. She said it was like a menage a trois without the sex.
Yeah.
And she said, like one night, like James came over and or I went over to James's place. I saw he had a noose hanging from the ceiling, and I was like, honey, you're not going to kill yourself, are you? And he was like, no, I'm going to die of a broken neck. I just know. And sure enough, when he got in that car accident, cause of death, broken neck.
Well, they blamed Vampira. A lot of people blamed it. No, they did. They said it was because because back then everybody was they had magical thinking going on and all that.
Oh, well, out the ass. Yeah.
They said because her evil or she was getting hate mail and saying like you're evil and you're the reason why James Dean died. You and your satanic bullshit. And,
Jane Mansfield got decapitated after hanging out with Anton LaVey and the Church of
Satan. Same weirdo people came out and said you're responsible for and it's crazy, dude.
Idiots. Idiots. Magical thinking. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I don't buy into the whole magical thinking crap, but whatever. To each his own.
Yeah. No, I mean, I believe in the supernatural, except I don't believe it's supernatural. I believe it's natural shit that we just haven't identified yet.
Yeah.
But you can be religious too. Like I'm a religious dude, but that's like an aspect.
I don't think I'm religious. I think I'm Buddhist. I think Buddhist is different. I think you can be a religious Buddhist, but I don't really follow the religious aspect of it. I follow like the tenets as far as like.
What do you mean
like
by Buddhist?
Techniques.
What do you mean you're Buddhist
as a way of living? Buddhism as a way of living.
Well, they have techniques that go like it's like ways like how to breathe and deal with your problems and not have to take medicine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I am on medicine, but trust me, it doesn't cover everything. Yeah,
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah. But also, it's like they have it always like tripped me out. It was like because they have a saying, right? And the saying is that no man can hurt you unless you allow them to hurt you. And I was always like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying? I was like, if somebody punches me in the face, that's gonna hurt, and I don't think I'll allow them to do it. You know what I'm saying? But then slowly, I started realizing what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like they were talking about like as far as like letting people get to you. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like
yeah.
Like there's ways, and there's never just two paths. Like even if somebody says, well, you can go this way, you can go that way. Well, there's always a middle path to go. You never have to be either way. And I kind of go that way when it comes to politics too. Like I think if you identify as a Republican or a Democrat, that you're not leaving yourself open to any new ideas. Like you're locking yourself into everything that those people believe, and you can't think outside of that.
It's like sports. It's like sports. I always say like Democrats, Republicans, Coke, Pepsi, they're both bad for you. Do you know what I mean?
There's always RC.
Yes, they're exactly. Hey, I vote green. Every election.
Coke, Pepsi, and take the middle path.
Hey man, maybe this year I'll write in Ron Jeremy. You never know. Ron Jeremy. Yeah. Who may be on his way to the clink.
The hedgehog of porn.
Oh shit, Brian and I laugh the same. That's evil.
Well, it's just, but yeah, no, I mean, I think that's exactly right. People don't want to think outside the box. All the Democrats that I know, you know what they want? They just want to go back to sleep. They want to go back to sleep.
They want to be led. You know what I'm saying? It's like please lead me.
They want to tune out. It's it's the visual. It's the visual of Trump. That's what bothers them, not the policies, none of that shit, because they never dive that deep. Do you know what I mean? Most people are low information voters, so they're getting all their news off of fucking cable news, right? So you would think the same shit if you watched cable news and you were like, oh, I trust that. I trust them.
So CNN can barely get 500,000 views, and then you got people like Tucker and Hannity, and they get 4 to 5 million views. So in one night, I think the media is tricking you. And you should not be tricked. And what is happening in the media with politics is the same thing that's happening with what's going on in comics. And they have a problem with Brian. They have a problem with Preston. And the problem is that they don't know how to control you two while you make the product that you make on your own as an entrepreneur. And even though Twitter is the devil, Twitter is the best thing in the world. It's the best thing in the world because all of us are connected through Twitter. Granted,
I always said the same thing about Facebook. Like, it depends on what you're there to take out of it.
Exactly.
Well, we all have YouTube. We all have YouTube to connect to talk to. Like, the four of us are talking together through our connection through Twitter. So if we didn't have Twitter, it would be kind of it would be like, damn, that sucks.
I had a friend
But,
that had close to 6,000 followers on Facebook, and because he let people's like the nonsense get to him, he was like, "No, they said this about me," so he's like, "I'm canceling my Facebook," and he did.
Terrible.
And he made a lot of
Terrible.
money from all those people that followed him that weren't talking shit, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
and then he came back. He was like, I can't make ends meet. I was like, dude, you turned your back on 4,000 people that made an effort to follow you and like your pictures and all this shit.
They don't know the
now you're
power.
bitching.
So like my mom had almost 10,000 followers on Twitter, and it's because she's pretty political, but she talks about she's a complete Trump supporter.
Is your mom a cam girl?
No. My mom's
You're a bad
but
boy,
what it
Preston.
is
Shame on you.
yeah, you know how these people are.
10,000's a lot. You got to
That's-
send me a
bro,
picture when we get
it's-
off this.
It's crazy. This shit is canceled. It's canceled. They canceled her goddamn account.
Look, we all knew this was coming, but like during an election year, we knew that they were gonna really, really crack down. Don't forget that it's always the same people in power. It's always the same people in power. It always is going to be. There's no way to vote against the war machine. There's no way to vote against Goldman Sachs. There's no way to vote against the Waltons, Koch brothers, whoever. Right? The ruling class in this country are always going to be fucking running shit.
Well, also
And-
you have ancient motherfuckers still in office that have been in
Well,
office
yeah,
for
because
like
they're hanging
20 or
on to their
30 years.
jobs.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
no,
And-
I
Yeah,
agree with
because
the
it's about their
ancient.
money.
but it was never meant to be a permanent.
No.
Their job was never meant to be held as a permanent position. It was supposed to
Well,
be.
Dude, that's why they have to
average-
rig that's why they have to rig primaries now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that's why I'm not voting for I'm not voting for the Democrats because wait,
Hold on, Brian's
2
on a
rigged
rant.
primaries.
Well, you say it's the average currency lasts only 50 to 100 years, and the average government only lasts 2 to 500 years. And so the United States, which was created technically it was created in 1776, but really it was before in the early 1715, 1716, 1718. But this is shenanigans, and it's just because it's an election.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
the problem is they're coming for entertainment, and so we gotta be able to have people like Preston and Brian, just like I said a minute ago, to continue to do what they're able to do. Because I want a heavy metal book, but I want a heavy metal book
Called
from
Non-Devils.
Comicsgate. Yeah, whatever it may be
I'm
called.
right. I'm on page
But
33.
but heavy metal has to come from Comicsgate. So whatever it may be called afterwards, because even though I have comic books, like I'm looking for what Preston, like that cover that you showed earlier. What did you show earlier?
Oh yeah, no, I can't say the name, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let's call it Bitch Lobo. That's
yeah, there you
Bitch
go.
Lobo. Yeah, that's perfect, bro. That's
It
perfect.
is. It is.
Like
that's what I'm
You
talking
can
about.
sell
Like,
that, man.
dude,
bro.
that's what I'm
There's your
saying. Like,
elevator
that's
pitch.
shit, right? I mean,
Bro, when I used to, so I was a Navy brat, so because my dad was a military police officer. So growing up, we all used to shop at the commissary and whatever it was called, where you can buy clothes and shit. So when my mom was out grocery shopping,
TJ Maxx.
I would go to the commissary and I would read all the heavy metal books. And the heavy metal books were like the
The
were
bomb.
the books where I am expecting Preston to be able to do that type of style with that type of coloring, and Brian. What was your book called again?
6 Gun Gorilla.
Six Gun Gorilla. Even though it's an old IP, could you imagine you doing your own intellectual properties individually by yourselves, but also having your own products out beforehand that you can promote in the meantime, trying to promote your intellectual property? And,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I
and-
mean,
I want a heavy metal book, to be honest. Like, heavy metal
Yeah,
is not
bro.
heavy metal like it used to be. Heavy metal is
Dude.
way too tame
that
to be heavy
Tarna,
metal.
that
Yeah.
Tarna
Oh, God, that was a
limited
travesty.
series by Alex
Oh.
DeCampi, literally the head of the fucking Whisper Network.
Yeah, and she never appeared in her Tarna costume at all,
Never.
unless it was on the cover. That's the only place she was in costume.
Bait and switch.
On the cover.
Bait and
Yeah.
fucking switch.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I read the magazines now, dude. The magazines aren't what they used to be. I mean, they basically tell you, like, there's no this, no that, no. There was no rules with old heavy metal.
No, it was all about breaking
artists,
the rules.
Yeah, it was
It was
whatever
like-
the artists want to fucking do, dude. That's
That was the thing, man. When I first got my hands on Head Shop comics, I was just like, what the fuck? I didn't know that you could do shit like this. And then the next big slap upside the head, the next thing that just rocked my world was discovering heavy metal.
It's like
Was
it's
just
like when I
like,
went to a tattoo
this is
shop
the
to get
shit.
my marriage tattoo. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, well, the rules say. I was like, I'm out of here. I went to their competitor. The guys they told me not to go to, they were like, no, don't go to those guys. They break the rules and they do heroin. I was like, maybe I can score.
Give you a
Oh, shit.
little smack so you don't feel anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody does that anymore, dude. Like, not, and
Well,
that's
it's time
one
to
thing
bring
I
it
can
back.
say. I
Bring
think
it
that's why
back.
Comicsgate is doing so good, is because we don't give a shit. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
well,
saying? Like,
seriously, we have a punk rock do-it-yourself ethic. I come from the old fucking punk scene, New York City, in the fucking early '80s, man, and the punk scene was all about this,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, fuck
and-
the establishment.
Yeah. The
Saying?
same way that like you had the Dada movement, and like in the 1920s, that was the first artistic movement to basically say this. You know what I mean? Fuck you. Where they were just like, we're just gonna completely like destroy all the old rules and everything like that. And I think Dadaism, like punk, wasn't necessarily something that was meant to stay around. It was meant to come and shake up the established order. It's like, you know what? All this arena rock is bullshit. All this like fine art is bullshit. Come in, wreck shit, and then hopefully start over.
Yeah.
It was fuck, man. It's like, who doesn't want to look back? If you're working in comics today, how do you not look at the people that created heavy metal? How do you not look at the people that created 2000 AD comics and not
Well, they're
say
problematic.
exactly?
And it's like Pat
Exactly.
Mills said. Like Pat Mills basically
Oh.
created 2000 AD, you know?
Oh,
and he's
talk about
like, well,
punk rock.
it got bought by this big, yeah. And he was like, it got bought by this big company. And he's just like, and they want to make all these changes. He's like, dude, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Don't fix what
it's
ain't
perfect the
broke.
way it is. Don't fucking touch it. But yeah, they went ahead and they hired a few people from the Whisper Network to do their books too, you know, and
Yeah, absolutely.
it's not that
Who wants a woke-
fear. Yeah, that created Alan Moore and fucking Simon Bisley where they
Yes.
you see what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
we're 2000 AD. We're heavy metal in 2000 AD wrapped. I mean, look at the Lost Pages by
Oh my God,
yes.
Phil is
that's-
killing it.
That's the shit, dude. That's what I'm
That
talking
is
about.
the
That's what we
shit.
need. We need a magazine to put stories like that in. You know, like just snippets of
Oh,
everything we're
dude, we
doing.
could do a jam
You know?
piece where like all like where we get a bunch of people together and do our version
has
of
text.
heavy metal.
I mean,
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah, we do
Mark.
have
or
metal.
2000 AD. Oh, dude,
Well,
why
who's-
haven't we done that yet? Like, we should
So-
all just like put together like
well,
a
I was
fucking
thinking
magazine, like
too, like,
yeah.
Who's the
like, Candace
colorist
brings
for
up a good
Tilt?
point.
Who's the
You see what I'm-
colorist for Tilt?
Tilt? I don't know, but Tilt. Well, Tilt. Did I? Oh no,
That
no,
just
no.
Is
got-
that
I
the
don't-
same
I
guy
don't
that did
know.
Bancroft's book?
Just came
I don't
out
know.
yesterday.
I haven't read it yet.
Sweetcast, the Sweetcast guy.
Oh,
Oh,
that's Fatal.
That's
You're talking about
Fatal. What
Yeah,
did I say?
Fatal's
Tilt.
badass, dude.
Shit, my bad, guy. I don't mean to, no.
It's all good.
I felt terrible, but yeah.
No, you're all right.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you? Compare
Dare you.
Tilt
But
to-
Fatal. The who's the
wanna
colorist
see
for
Fatal? I have no idea, but
I have
the
no idea.
artist and the colorist is badass.
Whoever
on
that
book.
colorist
Yeah.
is for those first couple pages, bro. Like, bro,
Yeah.
that's the shit that I'm looking for.
He reminds
man.
me of he's got a really strong Neil Adams feel to his work, like that. You know,
Neil
old
Adams?
school Neil Adams look. Yeah,
I'm gonna Google it real quick.
yeah. But yeah, like I was thinking, and I want to approach my friends in Australia about this too, because Australia is the highest place to go ahead and mail to. You know what I'm saying? Like postage.
I know. I made a lot of sales there,
dude. But I was wondering, maybe we can network and get a bunch of printers from Australia, the States, and have each of us work as distribution services for each different continent. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, that way we would only have to send our files to that person on that continent, and they would go and print the book and distribute it for us. Exactly. And we would do the same for them.
Exactly.
Well, you would have to do that. You could just have the packages shipped to the facility that you want to have deliver for you.
I ain't doing that. Instead. I've seen them screw up.
Well, John Malin is doing Cecil's books.
Yeah.
So
plus, you have to make
cool.
you have to be in high digits to be able to hire a distributor.
Well, yes. From that, saying it that way, yes.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a good idea if you made $200,000 or $150,000 on your book or something like that, and you got like over 2,000 people to mail to. Yeah, that's a really good idea. But you don't want to fall into the trap that Ethan fell into when he was distributing the first Cyberfrog book. Because what happened was people would get, I don't know, somebody was smoking crack at the distribution.
Face in your face.
Yeah, it was like, just put 5 copies in that one. I know we ordered one. Just put 5.
Well, my shit, both my ash cans
hitting the pipe.
Both my ash cans came in damaged. They just straight up pushed the ash cans in the.
Oh, dude, mine was literally taped to a piece of cardboard.
Mine was fucked up.
Stuffed into an envelope.
Really?
Like,
dude.
They arrived all jacked up, huh?
Yeah, mine. So not only was Preston's jacked up, but mine were jacked up too.
Yeah, no, it never came in damaged. That's the one thing I have to say.
Well, my shit came in damaged. Mine did because they just you got both the ash cans with it.
No, I just got the book. You know.
So when I got the book because I got the Salamandroid cover, but the two ash cans that came with it, the one that he signed and the one he didn't sign, 1998 or whatever. Yeah. They just straight up put it in the brown box. You know what? I got it. Like all the fucking corners were destroyed. Because it had gone from goddamn New Jersey all the way down here to Alabama. They fucked those books up, bro. They fucked them up.
They never put it in a sleeve or anything like that?
Nope.
Are you
dude?
Holy
they
shit.
just straight up put it in the fucking container. And just set that bitch.
I had a backer who contacted me and told me that they had gotten like my book, except they hadn't gotten my book. They got literally an empty Gemini mailer. So the book didn't arrive. So the book didn't arrive jacked up. It didn't arrive.
Is that your fault?
The fucking mailer did.
Or did somebody? Did you?
Somebody must have jacked it.
That's what I was saying.
There's no way I mailed an empty fucking mailer, okay? I would feel that shit.
Nights and you're like, I'm so high.
Well, so Ethan didn't use Gemini mailers. Ethan didn't use Gemini mailers. He used that regular old cardboard box where you pull the little strip on the front and you can open it. He used the little cheap ass mailers that were.
I thought he did use Gemini. I thought
nope.
That's what
my
he said.
shit didn't come in no Gemini mail.
No, that's what I'm saying. Mine never either. Mine came in a padded envelope with a piece of cardboard.
Yep.
I'm saying it was.
That's what mine came in.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but here's the thing that's great. Yeah, but I mean, it's like if somebody, like for instance, somebody got an empty Gemini mailer from me. Okay, how pissed off are you going to be when you you open your front door, you see your mail there. Whenever I see one of these, I'm like, oh yeah, you've got comics, awesome, right? Yeah. And you open that bitch, you're like, gee, this is a little light, and you open it, and there's literally nothing. You'd be pissed, right? And so. I'm so glad that this guy contacted me personally and was like, dude, I got an empty Gemini mailer from you. I was like, oh shit. I'll fix that right now.
It's like when you're about to have sex with your old lady, but then you walk out and she's sound asleep.
You're supposed to sleep after.
Some guys might have a problem with that. I don't.
Oh, I don't either.
I mean, what they don't remember, they don't remember. It's fine.
Strike. That's it.
Gotta
fill 'em out,
Channel deleted. Oh
shit.
Jesus, man. But that's what's so cool about what we have here. We have like a one-on-one relationship with our customers. And somebody, just as an experiment, I put the first 6-gun trade paperback on Kickstarter, right? Without doing any promotion, without posting it and promoting it on the Twitter or Facebook, any of that shit. And it's at I got 58 backers, and I'm at $2,063 with 4 days to go.
I'm surprised
for a 40-day campaign. Right. Well, that's the thing. I didn't do anything to like attract any attention to it. I just and it's not the same campaign. It's the old book that I'm selling.
No, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good experiment. Like that's not bad at all. I mean, 55 backers. What is that? Like $2,000, something like that. Or...
It is, and that's the thing that's cool is we'll do something, and like one of us will do something, and we'll as an experiment, and then we share our results with our fellow creators, and then everybody learns from that shit.
I've been running across, like I've been doing art trades a little bit with artists I've been like that follow me on like Instagram, because they'll post something and I'll be like, dude, that is so badass, right? And then I'll go look at their page. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, look at all this stuff. And one guy I stumbled upon, he's like, oh yeah, I know who you are. He's like, I'm going to be putting out a book with Comicsgate pretty soon. I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome. But there's a few that haven't. So we've been doing trades, and I'm like, there's so much talent out there, dude. And you don't hear about any of these dudes because they don't tell the line. You know what I'm saying?
I know. But I think it's like you said, they don't want rock stars. These shitty Tumblr artists, these shitty Twitter writers, what do you think Marvel and DC are paying them?
Well, that's
very fucking little.
No. They actually came out and said that. The reason why they're hiring out of country is because it's cheaper to do the interiors with somebody from out of the country, or somebody that's willing to work for next to nothing and just get an Alex Ross to do a cover, or somebody established to do a cover, and which is bullshit. To me that's bait and switch.
That's exactly what that is. Oh, dude, I remember a copy, I think it was of Masks possibly, where it had this beautiful Alex Ross cover, and I opened it up and the inside art was shit. I mean, straight up shit. No, what? I don't know. Was it Masks? I forget, but it was one of their books that had like a bitchin' Alex Ross cover. The shadow Alex Ross can't fucking beat it, and you just open it up, and the interior art was just shite. Oh,
no, you can't trust any of it.
Yeah, Candace. No, I don't. That's why I just wanted to do this as an experiment, and I specifically put it up there without like advertising or promoting it, just to see. Okay, if I just throw this up there, like how many books am I going to sell? And the result is like more than I thought. So,
are you guys familiar with Jim Rugg?
Jim Rugg, no.
All right, he's part of the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel.
Oh yeah. I love that show.
Regular, right? Well, he put out that Octobriana, 1976. And I got it.
Nice.
Because I was like, I don't know if I should do this. It's not really that many pages, and whatever. But I went ahead and I backed it anyway, and it just came in. And dude, this book is fucking insane. You can tell, like it's always books. I guess it's the best it can be when the artist is having fun, and you can tell they're having fun in there.
Yes.
And like right in the middle of the book, out of nowhere, there's a 3D like page. Like the page is just in 3D. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like red blue anaglyph?
Yeah, and it's all in neon 3D, right? Because the whole book's put in neon because it's a black light book, And there's
it's a black light book.
It's a black light book, dude. Like
that's
the book
insane.
Is completely printed in neons, right? And you can't get that digitally. Like it's got to be an actual, it's got to be done on an actual press, And I was like, this book is so fucking. I did a video on it. I was so impressed by it. I was like, no, I got to do a video, But I've those guys like follow each other on Instagram too. I actually offered to team up with them to do a piece or whatever, and they were like, "No, we don't know you." So I was like, "All right, whatever." But I love their show because they put out a lot of good information on indie books, but
They do.
Kickstarter must be kissing Jim Ruggs' ass because that book went, it's almost at $200,000, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's fucking a lot. Like, you made a ton of money off of that,
The thing about Kickstarter is that, of course, they've got censorship going on, right? And they will, if they find out that you're guilty of wrongthink, they will fucking ban your fucking book.
That's so crazy, wrongthink.
It's insane, but that's just where we are. That's
You're
where we
guilty
are
of thinking wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, you have the wrong opinion. You're a Yahtzee now, so I get to beat you with a tire iron. No, it's fucking insane. At the same time, Kickstarter is a way bigger platform, and there are a lot of people who have Kickstarter accounts who don't even know what Indiegogo is. When I tell people. They're learning, but it's slow. So if we only put our work on Indiegogo, there's a whole audience out there that's just not even going to know that we even exist.
I think you got a point. Actually, I think that's a good idea to just go ahead and dip it out there and just see what happens, and like you did.
Just as an experiment. I'm thinking, shit, if I promoted
the book's finished, and why not?
Exactly.
See what happens. And
why not at least put our old shit on there?
Yeah, and you might be drawing in a new audience, and I think that's a good idea, because I guarantee you with all the Marvel and hell, you know what would be even funnier is that a bunch of SJWs would buy your book, not knowing
that I'm one of the bad guys.
Yeah, because Kickstarter wouldn't host them.
Because I have to. Because I'm really guilty of wrongthink.
Then they get the book in, they're like, "There's boobies in there."
Oh, there's not going to be. Well, there's not any boobies. There's not really any boobies in Six Gun Gorilla. There will, however, be boobies galore in Preston Acevedo's Nine Devils.
Nine Devils is going to be exactly what you want from heavy metal. I told Brian, I said, "Look, I ain't got a problem with people having sex in my book. Let's do it. Let's do nudity. Gore. I don't care. That's fucking
yeah. Because I asked Preston, I was just like, okay, this is your baby. You want me to rewrite this? Well,
it becomes yours at that point too, because
it becomes ours, right? And because I want to make sure that you're happy with it too. So when I'm when I finish the first draft of my script, it goes to Preston. Preston is going to look it over and and either approve it or say, "Oh yeah, but dude, this character would never say that," or "Could you have more boobs? Could you have more gore? Could you have more of this?" When I asked Preston, what do you want for the general tone of the piece? He said, heavy metal.
Yeah.
And I was just like, got it.
You know what? She's actually right.
Got it.
Saying about Kickstarter. I've backed a few books on Kickstarter and they don't charge you right away for the money. And they also don't charge you right away for shipping because they calculate shipping when the book's about to be sent out. And I don't like that personally because look, I got enough money in my bank account where I'm not really worried about it. But there's a lot of people that have the money at the time, so they
I'm one of those dudes, man. I'm one of those dudes,
I've backed shit a couple of times on Kickstarter, and it's like all of a sudden a month later, it's like, wait a minute, where'd that money out of my account go to? It's like, oh shit.
Right. That's an excellent point, though, Candace. That's another thing that's because there are a lot of reasons why I haven't used Kickstarter up until this point, and a lot of those reasons I forgot. But the main thing, of course, is the censorship. It's super shady. It's really shady. At the same time, as independent creators, we have to survive. And fuck the big two. I think about people that that kind of one guy in particular who kind of stabbed me in the back, because of course he doesn't want to be associated with CG, and which is fine.
You have that game board almost finished and put away.
Which one?
That game board, you have it almost finished and put back in its box.
Nearly
shoved back in a closet.
Nearly, almost. But But it's just like, oh, so basically you're protecting like your mainstream career because like you don't want to associate with me because I'm associated with CG, and that, you know, if you hang out with dogs, you get fleas, right? It's just like, yeah, but dude, what mainstream industry? I dreamed of breaking into the mainstream comic book industry for most of my life. I really think ever since I was that little boy at the fucking spinner rack going, ooh, Monster of Frankenstein, Ghost Rider, Werewolf by Night, Morbius the Living Vampire, Tomb of Dracula. Now it's just like, it wouldn't even occur to me. Like what would they have to offer, right? Other than taking my shit and paying me virtually nothing, because the American comic book industry is notorious for legendary, really, for treating its creators poorly.
Well, like Blade, for instance, right?
Yes.
Nobody knows how Blade came to exist in a Marvel universe, right? Like as far as
Wolfman.
Yeah, but Marv had that character before he came to Marvel, and somehow it became property of Marvel, but he never signed it over to him. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it was also Gene Colan's creation. He always said that, you know, it should be Blade created by Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan.
Yeah.
Right? And he first appeared in Tomb of Dracula, right? Or was it Morbius the Living Vampire?
Tomb of Dracula number 10, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that one, I was collecting the Dracula series, but then when I came to that one, I was like, okay, I got to find a number 10. It was like $3,500.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember as a little kid, man, loving that character because he was cool. He was badass, right?
He was, dude.
With the fucking wooden knives and shit, right? Killing fucking vampires. I was like, fuck yeah. And it was the weirdest thing in the world, like in 1998, like seeing that there was a Blade movie coming out. It's like, there's no Spider-Man movie. There's no Captain America. There's no Fantastic Four. But Blade, right? Blade was a D-list character, and the movie was great, and the movie did great, and that's what really opened the floodgates in a sense, where you know these studios were like, geez, a D-list Marvel character like did really well, a black DC a Marvel character, D-list Marvel character, because this is also around the time where you still had a certain part of the population that wouldn't go see a movie like with a black dude in it. Let's be real, right? Yeah. And
that's a good point. You've seen it?
What was that? Scott McCloud brought up one thing. No publisher would ever pay you enough to successfully sue them. Right? Well, with Marv Wolfman, he waited until the day that the Blade movie came out to file his lawsuit against Marvel.
Yeah.
And then he lost. And one of the people that testified...
He was trash.
Yeah. And one of the people that testified against him, against his fellow comics creator, John Byrne.
Oh, big surprise there, dude.
Yeah, he was making faces at him from the stand. Marvel said, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah," because he was just like a company guy, so he was gonna stand by the company. And yeah, it's exactly big surprise. We all know about John Byrne. He has a reputation. Still doesn't change the fact that the man's like a legend and an icon, and that run that he had on X-Men.
He does, but you can't blame him. I mean, he's got micro penis. That's why.
Look. Sometimes great artists can be dicks. It happens. It happens. Okay.
No, yeah, that's true.
John Carpenter met Nigel Neal, who's the guy who wrote the Quatermass movies, which were a big inspiration on Prince of Darkness, right? And in fact, if you look at the opening credits, it says written by Martin Quatermass. That's John Carpenter using a pseudonym, right? And he said, he was such an admirer of Nigel Neal's. He wrote some of the most brilliant, most visionary British sci-fi horror of of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And he met him and said he was a colossal dick, just an asshole. And the X-Files guys also wanted to work with him. and we're just like, oh, Nigel Neal's still around, he's still working, dude. Come here, write some shit for the X-Files, and they worked with him a little bit, and we're just like, yeah, we can't work with him. He's just
people
a
say the same thing.
Wang.
People say the same thing about H.R. Geiger or Giger, whatever you want to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Giger was more along the lines of he didn't want to be disturbed. He was like, just leave me alone. I just want to do this, and if you want to look at it, that's fine.
And that's fine. That's fine.
But
You know, there's a difference between
him, dude.
Well, I mean, I think there's a difference between being a prima donna and if you're an artist and you just want to do your own thing. Like, for instance, if you want to do a swap with someone, if you make a business proposal to someone and they're like another artist, they're like, nah, man, I'm good. You can't be offended by that shit. No. I mean, part of you is going to go, oh, motherfucker, right? But you can't take that shit personally because it is their right to turn down work, just like it's your right to turn down work.
Yeah.
But then there's like people that are just assholes or just aren't, like, you know, nice or fun to work with. And it's like, those are the people that I think, you know, that I have a problem with, because it's like, you know what? If you don't play nice with others, don't play nice with others.
Yeah.
If you're an angry drunk and you need to drink alone. Don't go to a fucking bar. Don't hang out with your fucking friends.
But it's much more fun when you're drinking with other people, because then you have somebody to hit.
If it's in a friendly way. Lon Chaney Jr.
I've never met an angry drunk that hit in a friendly way. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Fucking somebody at Universal Studios said they were like in the cabanas and they heard like a brawl, like furniture smashing, like these dudes were going at it. You could just hear there was a scuffle, right? He opens the door. Inside, it's Lon Chaney Jr. and Forrest Tucker, and they're just boom, 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 two big fucking dudes, boom, boom, just beating the crap out of each other. And the guy goes, like, what the fuck? I thought you guys were friends. And they just looked at him like he was crazy. We're like, yeah, we are. Boom, boom, boom.
Now, I think, Wesley Snipes is amazing, but Wesley Snipes he also has according to Halle Berry, he's got a mean right hook.
Oh,
it took away her hearing.
No.
You got cauliflower ear.
Patton Oswalt said, like, people come up to him and they're like, oh, dude, you were in Blade. He's like, no, I was in Blade Trinity. And evidently there was a point where Snipes wasn't talking to the director.
Yeah.
David S. Goyer, understandably, because basically what he did was he used Blade 3 as an excuse to create a Darkstalkers spinoff, right? He figured, okay, well, this franchise is going to end with this movie, so I'll start a new one with it. And so, you know, Snipes was understandably perturbed about this, but he wouldn't even like talk to the director. He would communicate with him via notes. And he said, like, every time he walked by Wesley's trailer, like every now and then the fucking door would open and there'd be like this cloud of pot smoke that would just come out like the fucking fog.
They had such a bad relationship that Snipes threatened the director, and the director threatened him back. He was like, he goes, he said, you know, we can finish this movie. We could just use digital reproductions of your face. He's standing, and we can finish this movie under budget. And Snipes never said another word to him. In fact, I think that's why Snipes wouldn't talk to him from that point on. Because
David Goyer, excellent screenwriter, horrible director. Should not be working in front of the camera. I don't know if you guys ever saw the David Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie.
Oh yeah,
I thought you meant the hamburger movie where he was.
I love that stupid fucking TV movie.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It was well written. It was just like, fuck, this is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's, you know, and Goyer wrote that. And
I got a fucking bootleg of that on DVD. Bootleg of that on DVD. I love that fucking movie.
It's fun, right?
Oh yeah,
Hydra, exactly right.
It's stupid and campy and clearly early mid 90s, but it's fucking great.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it is
You need
Agents
to
of
keep
Shield.
the-
It's
On
David
way to keep
Hasselhoff
the
stupidly works as Nick Fury.
younger David.
Well, yeah.
No, if you want to see really, really young David Hasselhoff, you need to see Star Crash.
Oh,
He
I've
has
seen it.
he has
that was
mascara,
great.
I think, in that.
Yeah,
That's great. Oh, Carolyn Monroe. Oh,
He had spaghetti arms in that movie too.
little buggy whip arms.
All right, guys, it's getting late. I gotta eat, and it's been
I got to work
fun.
on the Nine Devils script. Is what I got to do.
Yes.
I'm on page 33, and like I said, once I've cranked it out, I'll ship it your way. My friend
Sweet.
Preston. Scott, nice talking to you, brother.
Yeah.
Justin, nice talking to you too, man.
Good talking to all you guys.
All right,
And we'll
brother.
see you
Have a
guys
good
on the
one.
next one.
Peace and
Back
love.
Nine Devils.